How's it going? Welcome back to another great video with the majestic host and the 100% certified sane man that I am, the savior. Yes, welcome back to the channel. Now, if you aren't a wise boy already, then what are you doing with your life, okay? Become a wise boy today and subscribe. Do not be left behind with the dum-dums, okay? Know what games are good, what games are bad, okay? Because my opinion is, of course, the only truth that matters. It's not like all games are actually a subjective experience and reviews are literally just pointless opinions, which everyone pays way too much attention to, but I digress. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Japanese Drunk Man Simulator, okay? And as a man who lives in Yokohama myself, I can confirm that this is pretty much what it's like, okay? This is what it's like living in Japan, and yeah, it's pretty crazy because you can indeed do all of these things that you can do in like a Dragon Gaiden. So we're going to talk about that today, and I do hope you enjoy this video. Like I said, do subscribe. It only takes 2 seconds if you are new, and I will not disappoint you if you like gaming content, retrospective gaming stuff, or day one reviews, or if you like deep video essays and analysis type content on gaming and just life in general. I try and mix gaming content with philosophical ideas because that's also what I tackle on this channel. So if you like the intellectual content, the philosophy side of things, and gaming, then you've come to the right place because we do it all here, baby. Now, Japan does have a problem, okay, when it comes to the Yakuza, the Yakuzi, okay? They are a little bit of a menace around Shinjuku and around those parts, but to be honest, they're mostly just a bunch of, you know, dead bodies now, okay? They aren't that threatening, to be honest, and you don't really see many of them about, so why not relive the golden times, okay? Back before the government completely whitewashed Japan with American ideology. Yes. So today, I will give you my Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name review, okay? Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name game review, and Jesus Christ. First of all, let me just say this straight out of the gate. They need to change the title, okay? It's far too long. I just hate games with massively long titles. It's very annoying, and it's just not catchy. Who's going to be thinking about, you know, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name in like 50 years times, okay? Of course, that doesn't, you know, that doesn't roll off the tongue, okay? It's not catching. It's not like Elden Ring, Skyrim, okay? So, Japan, fix your title, okay? Because this shit is getting on my nerves. So I do hope you enjoy this Like a Dragon Gaiden review, and we're basically just going to dissect and look at the positives and the negatives. That's how I like to do all of my reviews. But first, let's start off with what's different, because this is not the first title in this series, and, you know, for a lot of people, they're not going to be very interested because this is a very specific type of game, and it's a very Japanese game, okay? But if you like the wacky and the kind of crazy side of Japanese culture, then you're definitely going to love this. And like I said, I can confirm that it's not far from reality, which is a little bit disturbing. But basically, you will be going around beating people up and basically using superpowers, because in this one, you are basically a goddamn spy. You are 007, trying to think of a non-racial joke here that's not going to get me cancelled. Basically, you are 007, but this time around, your only enemy is the fact that you cannot pronounce your L's. So you do have two fighting styles in Like a Dragon Gaiden, and that is basically the Yakuza fighting style, and this is real-time combat, so I do have to say that's a massive pro. I don't really like the turn-based system in the older games. I think having a real-time combat just makes this feel much more of an action game, and it's really good because, you know, there are lots of different combos, especially when you're fighting in a big group, a big team, and you can do that because there is an arena mode, which I'll talk about more in a second. But yeah, the combat is really good. You get these two fighting styles, the traditional Yakuza approach And like I said, you can do a lot of different combos with that one, and abilities, which you will get over time as you level up and gain experience. But then also now you have this new fighting style, which is the agent style, and this is where the 007 kind of spy stuff comes into it. And with this, basically, you can use gadgets and, you know, like mini drones to like do a massive AoE attack. You can also use this ability to basically stun your enemies and give them a stagger. And this is basically like using an electric kind of combat web, which you strap around the enemies, kind of similar to Spider-Man. But I do like that, and I do like that there are lots of cool little gadgets that you can use, like a goddamn bomb pen. So of course, like the other games, you get these open world sections. It isn't fully integrated open world, but there's, you know, open world areas that you get to choose from. And luckily, you can play in my hometown, which is super cool. Yes, you can go around Yokohama, basically the better version of Tokyo, and you can just go and drink a bunch of beer and, you know, piss in the street and, yeah, basically just eat shit tons of ramen until you literally cannot move any longer, because that's pretty much what we do. You also get access to the castle, and this is where the fun is, because this is basically the main event place, the big kind of open world play area. And this is where you get lots of side missions, side objectives with random NPCs, you know, coming up to you, and you can interact with them. But also, because this is basically Las Vegas, basically a Las Vegas island, you can do so many mini games here, like gambling, poker, blackjack, all of that fun stuff. And yeah, for me, that's a big highlight, and that's the only part I really got to saw, because this is based on the early previews, so just bear that in mind. So a plus here is you will get returning characters that a lot of people love. A negative, I would say, is that it still feels a bit dated with the animations, the character interactions, and the, you know, kind of facial animations. But obviously it doesn't matter, because you know, it's nowhere near Bethesda level, but it isn't great, and just graphically it isn't amazing. They've always got a nice style to them, and I like the fact that they mix, you know, kind of live action, kind of hentai stuff. Whoa, and I can confirm this is 100% accurate. Basically, if you want to waste money, go to a girls bar. I wouldn't recommend it. I've never done it, because that's for simps. The, you know, mini games is what's great about this game, okay? Because basically, the Yakuza games and Like a Dragon Gaiden is basically just a series of fun mini games with a story mode going on, with, you know, obviously a good narrative that people will care about if you're into this type of thing. But basically what makes these games fun is it's just a string of mini games, these open kind of world areas that you can do a lot of combat and kind of side questing in and stuff like that. So I think that's what people love about this game, and I can understand, because I have enjoyed some of the other ones, and so far this seems like just an evolution of all those systems. So like I said, the big positive here is the combat, okay? And it's so fluid, and it never really gets old, because there is a lot of variation in the combat system, and you can really mix it up and, you know, choose like the kind of style that you want, and basically progress in that way. You know, just the environmental stuff as well is pretty good. You know, you can do bombastic shit like pick up a giant goddamn signpost and whack it into people. And then you have the ability side of things, which just feel insane, way more crazy than the last one. But basically there is some player agency here, because you can basically focus down on what you like. What I really enjoy is the mini games, because you can basically go to the arcade. And if you don't know, there's literally tons of arcades in Japan. It's a culture where arcade gaming just isn't dead, thank God. But basically, you can play full-length arcade games in this game. So it's a game within games, which is super cool. And, you know, basically you can do karaoke, play bar games like darts and stuff like that. So it's very much a kind of slice of life simulator in Japan, as well as an action, bombastic, crazy game, and I think that's why so many people love it. So if you've never had the chance to experience Japan, pretty much I can confirm it's pretty accurate. So yes, it's completely accurate, I would say. The only downside, I would say, is that you can't beat up a bunch of otaku weeaboos, which would be very, very pleasurable. And because the combat system is so great, this arena-based mode is very, very fun, because basically you can select different characters. You don't even have to play as the main character anymore. You can basically choose different characters to play around with, and the combat does vary depending on characters, which is super fun. And you can basically have a whole team, you know, gang battle warfare. So it's not just you, it's, you know, two teams fighting it out. The combat is constantly introducing new mechanics, and as a fighting brawler game, I think you can't really get much better than this. And if you are basically into that type of, hand-to-hand combat, kind of like Sleeping Dogs, I would say. It does remind me a lot of Sleeping Dogs, but obviously a lot more bombastic and just crazy, over the top. But if you like that type of system, then you will definitely enjoy this game. And that is my Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name review. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.